Hello everyone and welcome to Moon Moth, and I'm in the northwest area. Haven't been here for a few weeks, so we'll work our way down in that direction and see if anything's changed. Just a few bits of housekeeping along the way. Well, one viewer put a post in a couple of weeks ago asking me to slow down. Now, I don't know if I talk too fast or walk too fast, but I'll try and do that. I'm sorry, I hadn't realised that I was moving too fast. So just for future reference, I am moving to fortnightly uploads. There's a very good reason for it. It's just purely because I have massive work commitments and I cannot I just haven't got enough hours in the day. So I'll probably do it every other week. Just keep an eye out, put your notifications on. YouTube, for some reason, is fiddling around with people's notifications. And I hear this all the time from people. Their notifications have gone off. It has nothing to do with me. I do not have the ability to change notification settings. It's what YouTube do, and I think it's their way of controlling things that they don't, controlling narratives, shall we say. If they don't approve, I think they do this. It's why some of these channels suddenly lose a heap of subscribers overnight, and nothing. YouTube, it's a complete disinterest. This is a busy little area, isn't it, friends? A very busy little area. So I have to move to the fortnightly uploads purely based on time. I should say the filming today will probably be 2.5 hours worth. I then upload that onto my computer and edit it. It may then take around about, say, 3 or 4 hours each day or each evening to edit a video, and then it needs to be rendered, which takes about an hour, and then it needs to be uploaded, which can take 3 hours for a 30-minute video to upload. It just depends on your Wi-Fi speed. So that's one of the reasons I just have not got the space time at the moment to do this on a weekly basis. I'm really struggling time-wise. So last week we had Claude, his experience that he had written in a magazine article, and I would say 98% of Claude's experience is what all of us who are interested in this subject, we all have in common. We all share this in common. 98%. And I think it varies from different area to different area, depending on the trees, the terrain, and the group of peoples. What I should say is Mindspeak, and we're going to work on Mindspeak today, how it is received. To me, it comes in very fast. So as I'm asking about something, the response can be very immediate. It can also be helped and assisted with imagery as well. So if there's something complicated, and I don't quite follow it or understand, I may ask them to clarify it. At which point they will show me an image which can mean nothing apart from what they wanting to show. It's very strange how they do it. They're able to show just one image which clarifies everything, leaves you in no doubt as to what exactly they mean. So how I'd explain that to you is, if you think of entering a room, you've never been in the room before, you have no idea what its contents are, what shape the room is, what's in, whether it's furniture or items. So when you enter that room, you look around, and in a very short space of time, seconds really, you have got a colour scheme, you have got, say, furniture, if you understand the furniture that's in there, might be objects of interest, might be paintings on the wall, art, particular style of architecture that the room has. You've taken that all in within split second. And that's what happens with Mindspeak. It's something, information is given to you and disseminated to you within split seconds. And so sometimes when I'm speaking fast, it's because the information that is coming in is fast. What also happens is that as I am receiving that information, there may be huge gaps, and those gaps may be 15 minutes, something like that. So the half-hour video you see of me channeling a conversation may actually have taken 2 hours to record, because I need to make sure I'm getting my information correctly and sorting my thoughts out, and the way they explain things as well. So I need to reframe those images in my mind. So although it sounds like it's massively complicated, it's just literally reflex responses, but they do they do have huge detail, and it's those details which you really need to get right, because if you get them wrong, then you're going to disseminate the wrong information. So I like to clarify things in my head several times with the family. Claude's video last week, his article, it was absolutely fascinating. There's so much that he says that correlates with everything we've learned. There are one or two differences, but there's so much that correlates together. We have more in common than we don't, if you like. I would say 98% is in common. And that is, I think that's just fascinating. And it's not just him. If you listen to other people's experiences, I know people who have contacted me, and all our experiences are very, very similar. The energy traits, the energy can be used for good or for bad. There's so many, many, many things. And I also believe that there are many different types of Janu, and some have been permitted to step forward and communicate, and some have not. I believe those that are purely physical in every way, purely physical, and do not step interdimensionally, I believe that they do not communicate, may not be allowed to. It's very strange. I think there's some things which are about permissions. So regarding where I'm at with all of this now, I strongly believe that I am on the first page of the first encyclopedia, which is probably one of 500 encyclopedias. That's where we're kind of at. And I think that we must acknowledge that there is far more that is to be known, and I think there's also a lot that we may not be allowed to know. So on today, I'm going to show you now. I'm going to put in here, I'll insert the family tree, which you can see. So this is the family tree of Abaq and Faba Sequa. Now, Abaq is the leader of the group, but he is not the head of the family. He is the leader of the Janu group in this country. But he is not the head of the family. Dasyagaya is the head of the family, and Dasyagaya, if you want to put it into our terms, would be his uncle. So Abaq's father was Edgar, and Edgar and Dasyagaya were brothers. Edgar has now moved on. He has transitioned. So Dasyagaya's father and Edgar's father was Abaq Senior, and his partner was Dasub. So the eldest grandson would be the Abaq that we speak to. And funny enough, Abaq's eldest grandson, which was born to Cyo, his oldest son is Cyo, and his eldest grandson, because Cyo had two little girls to start with, his eldest grandson was born in February last year, and funny enough, he's called Abaq. So there must be something about the eldest grandson must carry the family name. There must be something in that nature. Okay. Abaq was born in our terms in 1962. And Faba Sequa, his mate, she was born in 1977. What I would say is Faba's name is Faba Sequa. So the Sequa is the tribe that belongs to Anku in the United States. And they are, I think, what we would class as highborn, very prestigious. They have great honour. And Abaq's family name, remember we did this a long time ago, is Hakai, and that's their family group name. And they originate from Scandinavia. So I believe they probably came along with Vikings and might have been used by, or their ancient families might have been used as Viking warriors in those days. Fabasakwa's name means shy, and Abaq's name means Mercury or Quicksilver. My guess is because he is grey. So Abaq and Faba's eldest son, their eldest child, is called Cyo. Now Cyo has quite a big long name, but I was introduced as Cyo. That was the name I was to use, and he was my first connection with this family. And Cyo has a partner called Hab. So Cyo is 27 years old, and they have 3 children. So Cyo has a daughter who is called Ahochidas. She is the oldest, and she is now 7 years old. And then we have, next is Dagababa, and she is 5 years old. Then we have little Abaq, who is just over a year old. So they have 3 children. Now, they were born in 2016, 2018, and 2022. There's a reason, I think, that they have this gap, and it seems to be standard in all the families that I have spoken with, that there is like a 2-year gap between them being born. A minimum of 2 years. Sometimes there might be a loss in between, and I think it's because that it's very difficult for them to carry a baby to full term, because they will probably be on the move. So harassment from big animals, bears, mountain lions, they have to think about that kind of thing. But more than any of that, human beings. There's also government interference within the United States, I would say, that they are permanently being harassed by the powers that be that are investigating these beings who they tell the whole world don't belong and do not exist. But meanwhile, they're busy investigating them all and probably trying to capture them. So that's the bit about the family with Cyo. Why do they have this gap? Most families here in the United Kingdom, and I think in America it's the same, I think they have primary age group. There's just something running from this direction over here. That was weird. It's like a rush of energy. Wow. So the primary age group for females to have children, I suppose it is the childbearing age, is from the age of 20 to just under 50, 45-ish. They have so many children because of harassment by humans, but also circumstance, and where they are located, and it may be also to do with physicality, whether their bodies are strong enough to carry at that particular time, whether they get the right vitamins, and they look into all that kind of stuff. before they settle in an area. So this is why when we've looked through the families, we've seen there's nearly every family has a loss. They never carry all the children that are born to full term. They never seem to. So today we're going to be looking at Cyo, and then we're going to move into Amagaba, and we're going to look at him. So let's start off with Cyo. So my first question would be to Cyo is, have you got good health, full health? So he's responding by saying, yes, he has good health. In fact, his response was, I'm hearty. Hearty, good and hearty. Full-bodied. I have exemplary health. Well, there's blessing. Thank goodness for that. So, next question is, your chosen path. And he's telling me that his chosen path is to assist his father in the duties, in the stewardship, in the stewardship of the family and protection of the family and planning of the family. Now, it was described to me that Edgar and Dacia Gea and Kaif were responsible for their generation, for the planning of their generation. So this is now Abaq and Cyo's job. So do you accompany Abaq as his right-hand man in most things? In most things. What he knows, I know. As he said that, I'm sort of looking and getting this sideways glance, as it were, from Abaq. That's what I see that as if to say, not quite. You don't know everything I know. We are here to assist those that need us, and we are unified by strength. Now he's explaining something here. When there are areas, troubled areas, where there's strife and unease, it affects the balance. It affects the balance of the planet and nature. And they try to restore this balance the scales, an equilibrium. No. So, Cyo, do you have any special gifts? Are you blessed with any specific gifts? Strategizing. And communication. And what he's saying is what I see in front of me now, all of this tree glyphs, you control or create. If you like, he writes this, plans it, writes it. And father. So Abaq and him plan this. So we already know that this is a telecommunications. All of this is about sending messages and receiving messages. And I think interdimensionally it looks like trees to us, but I think in another dimension it'll look like something completely different. I got an acknowledgement. Got an acknowledgement on that. So, has anything in particular been challenging for you in the past year, 18 months? Has anything in particular caused challenging for you? So he's saying the energy has changed. And he points directly to the poison, to the COVID. It was a nicer energy because we were all stuck at home. The whole world ground to a halt. So that there wasn't the busyness, hustle and bustle. Things just were not in play. And that's all started again. We couldn't move about, we couldn't do things. This is us, human beings. I think the energy in general must have been much nicer for them because the world had come to a stop. And perhaps we, as human beings, had realised our mortality. Whatever you agree, disagree about COVID, I'm not going to go into that. We all have our own different opinions on that, and I understand, I totally understand, but what he's saying is about we all had to come to a stop. I mean, you saw the images of the world sky maps, no planes in the sky, no shipping, nobody moving. So the energy had altered and changed. He's saying it was a beautiful energy. I'm going to ask Cyo a question here. Cyo, do you believe that COVID was a man-made poison? He says, absolutely. Humans are the masters of their own destiny. Oh well. There we go. Thank you very much for that, Cyo. Thank you for your patience. And I wish you and Hab good health and your children good health. Thank you. So we've just got one little pot down there of peanut butter. Just leave that there. And all of this going on here. How natural does that look, my friends? Please tell. So my next questions are to Amagaba. So Amagaba is the next son beside Cyo. There is Mebki between and Abidam between him and Amagaba. Mebki, Abidam and Leola, actually. So the next son, like I say, is Amagaba. His name means head of the bull. And he is now 17 years old. So he is pretty much going to be following, I think, in the footsteps of Cyo, but I'm going to ask Amagaba directly. Amagaba, may I speak with you? I'm also asking if he needs his father's permission to speak, and he does not. He is entitled to speak now. So, have you, Amagaba, you're 17 now, you have had your initiation into being a man, you've had that ceremony. So, have you got good health? Good and full health? Now here we get a little bit of competition, because he's saying my health is even better than Cyo's. It's more robust. I think he likes to... I'm stronger than him, he says, and I'm going to be taller than him. How tall are you now, Amagaba? He comes to Cyo's shoulder height. Wow. How tall is that in comparison to me? I'm 5'8". Are you taller than me? A little person? He's saying I'm a little person. I like the cut of this man's jib. Are you twice my height? Almost twice my height. So you would be 10 foot? Almost, he says. Almost. Wow. Wowza. And I believe, how long do you keep growing for? Probably till we're 20. That's in our terms. I think they have a different time scale than we do. Probably till they're 20. So Amagaba, have you got a chosen partner yet? You have. And have you met her? You have. And what did you think? I get the sense that they're going to be a great team. We share humour, ability, and thought energies. That's what he said, and thought energies. What does that mean? It's our purpose. The energies we create. Okay. So, have you been shown your chosen path? Saying yes. And he's saying, look up, Sally, that's what it's all about. It's broad daylight. Are you meaning the stars or the skies or the clouds? It's the stars. He showed me the sextant. Learning how to read that and understand that. So the path of the stars, or all our transits, your family group's transits, what lies ahead, what has to be overcome. So do you, Amagaba, do you accompany Father Abaq and Cyo also as a right-hand man? He says, I go on some things. Yes, I go on some things. But more with Cyo, so I think Cyo spends time and keeps him under his wing. Oh dear. Amagaba is saying a very small wing. A very small wing. These two are sparring. Very, very funny when they do this. So, Amagaba, do you have any special gifts? He says communication, straight away, communication. Are you involved with any of the communication we see here with these communications with these tree glyphs? He's saying it's more to do with other energies. Do you mean other beings? Both energetic and physical, he's saying. He's a communicator. Ah, right, now he's saying like Ahochida. So that would be his grandmother. Ahochida would be his grandmother. And she liaised with all the beings in the forests. So if you think of woodwows, elementals, they all liaise together because they all have a part to play. He's saying we all fit into a jigsaw. Yeah, how do they know about jigsaws? So we all... This is how they give you information, you see. This is what I say when they give us information. It can't mean anything else other than it is. We all fit into a jigsaw. One part is no good without the other. Is that correct? It is so. So has anything in this last year or 18 months, has anything been particularly challenging or difficult for you so far? He's saying having to do as I'm told, playing second fiddle. He's saying not really, no. There is much humour. These two, Amagaba and Cyo, spar off each other. And it's like he's saying he has to keep him right. He has to keep his older brother in check. All I can see is Cyo smiling and shaking his head. That's the image he's giving me of him smiling and shaking his head, as if to say, you should be so lucky. Don't you love their humour? They know, these families, they know what makes us tick. They know we love humour. It's how they get their message across. So thank you. Thank you very much, Amagaba. Thank you for that.